Welcome to the next session on ARM processor. In the previous session, due to some recording problem, I haven't covered the details about the CISC architecture and the RISC architecture. I will just go a little bit back and I will explain you the CISC architecture and the RISC architecture in detail. If you look into the CISC architecture, of course, already you have studied some of the processors and the controllers like 8085 and 8051. These uh, this 8085 is the processor and the 51 is the controller. Both are having CISC kind of architecture. Now CISC stands for the complex instruction set computer. CISC stands for the complex instruction set computer. So if you look into the features of the CISC architecture, then in that architecture or under this architecture, more burden is there on the hardware. Means the hardware has to do a lot of work. Okay, the hardware has to do a lot of work. Okay, and as compared with the software, means the hardware is more sophisticated, or the you can say very intelligently designed. Another feature is that most of the in this or under this architecture, the instructions which are there, those are more complicated and large in number. So most of the these, in case of 8085 and 8051, you have studied that there are around 70 plus assembly instructions are there. So number of assembly instructions are large. Okay. Third is that instructions are more often of variable size and take many cycles to execute. Means these instructions are having single cycle execution or two cycle execution, sometimes three cycle execution. Okay, it will consume uh, multiple machine cycles for the execution purpose, and they are variable in size like this. Depends upon the kind of instruction. Of course, another feature is that under this architecture, dedicated registers are there for the special purpose. Okay, so SFRs are there. Data processing operations can act on memory directly. So under this architecture, every time whenever you are doing processing on a data, you have to refer the memory. So whenever normally whenever you are fetching the instructions, uh, you have to see towards the memory, as well as whenever you are fetching the or reading the data from the memory, again you have to refer the memory. So every time for all the kinds of operations, you have to refer the memory, and memory is always coming into the picture. So under this architecture, due to this kind of or multiple memory accesses, it will consume more execution time. So this is what happening under the CISC architecture. Okay, so this is what these are the features of the CISC architecture as such. Okay, now we'll move towards the RISC architecture, which is the another kind of architecture under which some of the controllers are coming. The very famous controller is a PIC series controller is there. Okay, so ARM processor is also a little bit coming under the RISC kind of architecture. Okay, so here the RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computer. Reduced Instruction Set Computer. In this case, all the instructions are executed in single machine cycle with high speed clock, and they are easy. Okay, so important thing is that all the instructions, I think 99% instructions are executed in a single machine cycle. Under this RISC architecture, more burden is on the software than the hardware. So therefore the more burden will be on a compiler. Means the compiler should be very intelligently written. This is what the uh, this is what this is you can say one of the feature of the risk architecture as such. So software is written or the compiler is written very sophisticatedly or intelligently. So naturally the software has to do a lot of work here. It provides the more flexibility and intelligence in a software. That is what I have told you. The very important property of the risk architecture is that there are the very limited number of instructions. For example, in PIC series, hardly 32 instructions are there. Now, as the number of instructions are very less, but at the same time, single instruction here, it is performing multiple operations. That is what the beauty of the risk architecture. Okay, so instructions are equal in size. Mostly single machine cycle I told you. So most of the instructions are equal in size. A pipelining concept is used. We'll see more detail on the pipelining concept further. And of course, the large number of general purpose registers are there. Of course, SFRs are also there, but apart from that, sufficient number of general purpose registers are available under the risk architecture. So these are the features of the risk architecture. So we have seen CISC architecture as well as the risk architecture. Okay. Now we are moving towards the ARM architecture as such, ARM processor as such. Details of the ARM processor we will look after now. Okay. So ARM is having particularly a load store kind of architecture. This is very important. ARM processor is having load store kind of architecture. Under this architecture, processor is operates processor is working on a data which is held in the registers. This is very important. So in this case, under or inside the ARM processor, what is happening is that the information is first of all loaded from the memory to the registers. Then whichever the operations you want to perform, you perform those operations on a register contents, and once the result has been prepared, that result is again stored back to the memory. So it is some sort of a load store kind of a architecture. So to perform these all operations, there are the separate load and store instructions are available, which are transferring the data in between a register bank and the external memory. So load means what? The data is moving from a memory to the register, and store means what? The data is moving from register to memory back. Okay, so this is what the load and store kind of architecture. Data processing operations are performed using registers. Means whichever the operations you want to perform, those operations will be performed on the register contents, means the data which is available in a registers. Okay, and so automatically what is happening is that there is no any requirement that every time you have to access the memory. So multiple memory access is not happening over here. So automatically the time consumption whichever is there, means the time which is required for multiple access, that has been eliminated. So the overall system performance will improve and the system will become very fast, you can say. The operations will be carried out in a faster way. So the improvement is there in a speed of the processing. Now we'll move towards the ARM design philosophy as such. So in case of ARM design philosophy, which are the you can say the uh, before designing the ARM processor as such, which kind of applications or which kind of things they have decided, they have started thinking about, means according to that the design has been done. Okay, so the scientists were thinking about that the processor actually ARM has been designed specially for the embedded applications. Embedded means what? Those are the very small in size. Okay, single unit kind of a thing, and designed to perform a specific operation. Okay, and it's having its own operating system like that. So naturally scientists were started thinking that that the ARM should be very low power consumption. It should have a low power consumption, It should have a sufficient performing capacity, you can say. It should have a high speed execution over there. Okay, it should have a risk kind of architecture, so automatically time consumption will be there. It should be again a price sensitive also, that is very important. So all these things they were thinking about that, and keeping all these in their mind, they started designing the ARM processor. So very important is that they should want the power consumption should be as low as possible. So low power design is there whenever they have designed. They started thinking about the ARM designing. It is having a high code density due to the limited memory size available on a chip. Of course, the on-chip memory is very small in size, so naturally the code density will increases over there, high code density. At the same, of course, they were deciding about the physical size and the cost also. In this case, the multiple operations are performed in an instruction, and which is get executed in a one machine cycle. So it should um, all the instructions should be executed in a one machine cycle. At the same time, it will perform the multiple operations also. So they want to make it very fast. Okay, they want to improve the speed. Okay, for that purpose, instructions must be executed in one machine cycle. So that kind of architecture they were thinking. It should be price sensitive. Okay, so that the low cost memory devices automatically the application, if the the ARM processor chip itself is a very low price, automatically the cost of the entire system also becomes low. So that is what their uh, you can say, what is that they were thinking about. Okay, you should have a smaller chip die area. Therefore, concept of a single chip solution came into the picture. Okay, so this is one kind of you can say a single chip solution. Everything is available on a single chip. So automatically, it is nothing but what it is, single or small single chip computer, you can say. Okay, so that they can easily use it in any embedded device as such. Okay, we'll move further. Smaller the area occupied by the embedded processor, then more available space could be used for the other specialized peripherals. So if you CPU, ARM CPU, which is occupying a very smaller area on a silicon die. So naturally what is happening is that further the other vendors, they started thinking about that, and they ARM core means the ARM company has sold the IP core to the other vendors, and the other vendors started using that IP core, embedding into another chip, you can say. And they started thinking that the other peripherals could be added with the ARM processor, and it will form a full-fledged controller as such. Okay, so other peripherals also, specialized peripherals, they are added along with the embedded processor. ARM has inbuilt hardware debugging facility. This is very important. So on-chip bootloader is there, in which a program is available for the debugging purpose. Okay, within the processor itself. So software engineer can view what is happening while processor is executing the code. So on-chip means at the time of execution only, you can see the uh, execution of the instructions, and debugging facility you can utilize. Due to this, software engineer can resolve the issues faster, which affects directly on the time to market and reduces the overall development cost. So overall development cost means what? Automatically what is happening is that since this is the engineer can debug the debug due to the debug facility, engineer software engineering can see that whether your hardware is working properly or not. Okay, and if there are any issues, so he can resolve the issues very fast way at the same time. So automatically what will happen, the overall development of the system takes very small amount of time, and easily he can, or very quickly or in a less time, he can put the you can say embedded system directly into the market. So that is called as a time to market, and overall development cost also reduces because on chip the debugging facility is available. So these are the some important features of the ARM processor or ARM core as such. ARM is not having a pure RISC architecture. If you look into the ARM processor and the number of instructions which are available, so it is not in a pure RISC architecture as such. Instead, what they did is that more stress will be on effective overall system performance. They were thinking that the system performance should be more effective and power consumption rather than the processor speed, you can say. Means the performance of the system they were thinking, so more weightage has been given to the system performance rather than the power consumption and the speed. Of course, power consumption is less comparatively to the earlier processors, okay, and also the speed is improved. ARM instructions are differ from the pure RISC processor and are designed such a way that they will be more suitable for embedded applications. So not in 100% all the instructions are single machine cycle, but there are few instructions which are variable in size. They will take multiple cycles for the instructions. So naturally, it is not a pure RISC processor as such. Okay. Uh, what they did is that the instructions have been designed in a such a way that it will be more suitable for the embedded application. So applications have been kept into the mind, okay, while designing the processor as well as the instructions. You can see there is a 32 into 8 multiplier is there. Multiplication directly possible by using a hardware block here that's available. M is there for the multiplication purpose, and there is a I stands for the ICE macro cell which is available on chip. Therefore, in short, it is known as an TDMI 7 TDMI, which is the extension available. Okay, we'll stop here and further we'll see more details in the next session. Thank you.